It's been my motto since the dawn of time. Well, since the dawn of my channel. And until next time, remember that these small changes you make have a big impact in the long run. Bye guys. Your small actions truly do matter in the long run. But do they really? Let's analyze that. Hello everyone, it's Emma and welcome back to my channel where we talk about all sorts of things zero waste, focusing on free, easy, and fun ways to live low waste, and recently, ways that we can all be activists. If I talk a little bit too fast for you, there's a gear icon right down here where you can change the speed of the video. So let's get into it. I'm gonna crochet while we chat. I prefer a little craft than yap. I think it's more authentic. But truly, I wanna know if you guys don't like me doing this, please let me know and I'll stop. So let's get right into it. First, one small action on its own is not gonna save the world. I know that. I'm not naive enough to sit here and think that me not turning on the light today and using the light from the window is the savior of the planet. I'm not gonna sit here and think that my one single phone call to my representatives is gonna save, our country, for example. But we have to look at my whole phrase here. And my whole phrase ends with, in the long run. Meaning that when we do our small actions over time, that's where we really start to see the benefits. The reduction of one plastic water bottle today, pretty meaningless, not gonna lie. But the reduction of 2 to 3 or more water bottles every single day for a year, for 10 years, for an entire lifetime, you can see how that adds up, right? And again, that's just me, one person. I also like to look at this and not just my small actions matter in the long run, but all of our collective small actions really matter in the long run. Again, let's expand this further. So let's say I reduce 1,000 plastic water bottles every single year. What if I inspire my spouse to do the same thing? What if I inspire my parents to do the same thing, and my siblings, and my classmates, and my coworkers, and my cousins, and my neighbors, and my friends? You can really start to see how that adds up. So not only do my individual actions add up in the long run, just me, myself, and I, but also when we inspire others to do the same thing. When we all are collectively doing these same small actions. We all think of voting as a very small, potentially even meaningless action, but when we all vote, we get an outcome. So that's the point of my phrase, is that not only do my individual actions add up over time, but when we all do a small action together, huge, huge impacts. I'm also quite aware that we need more than one action. I'm just gonna keep using the water bottle, for example. Again, even if I encourage everyone in my life to reduce plastic water bottles for the rest of their lives, honestly, truly, if every single person on the planet quit using plastic water bottles, the world's still not gonna be saved. There's still gonna be plastic pollution. There's still gonna be emissions. There's still gonna be climate change. We need more than one action. And that's why I talk about a plethora of actions. Just driving EVs is not gonna save the world. Just calling your reps alone is not gonna save the country. Just conserving water is not gonna save the world. We need a bunch of small actions together. And thankfully, a lot of eco actions are very easy to do. A lot of them will even save you money. A lot of them you can do for free. Check out my full playlist of over 400 ways to live zero waste for free. Let's just kind of analyze my recycling bin. Again, the reusable water bottle. If I reduce 2 to 3 reusable water bottles per day, that's amazing. I make my own homemade sourdough. I'm now reducing a plastic bag from the landfill every single week. Me reusing reusable period products saves dozens of disposables every single month from the landfill and from being created. A reusable coffee cup diverts 1 cup of coffee per day from the landfill. Again, and this is just me. With every single individual action, if you inspire your household, your classmates, your roommates, your coworkers to do the same things, once again, they all add up. If we all do multiple small things every single day for our entire life, and we also encourage other people in our circles to do the same thing, wow, look at that impact. Now my garbage can is more empty. My recycling bin is also emptier. Fewer resources have been created. Fewer things have ended up in the landfill. Less fuel has been used to transport all of this stuff to my store and to the landfill. Fewer trash bags have been used. You get the point. So that takes us into my next point. We need to look at the big picture. It really is easy to look at a disposable water bottle right here and say, yeah, using this or not using this today, meaningless. But when you look at its entire life, when you look at how many you can reduce in your entire lifetime, I think it really helps us conceptualize how that one small action is actually a huge action that we can take. So again, let's look at the full life cycle of a water bottle. So if you didn't know, all plastic starts as oil, unless it was recycled plastic, and you can learn more about the history of plastic and how it's created in this video. Somewhere in the ground, there's some oil. Machinery was used to drill a hole, resources were used to extract the oil, probably more fuel was used to extract the fuel. It's extracted, it's transported to a refinery, it's refined into a lot of different things. Plastic is created as a byproduct. It's not just a plastic water, it doesn't go to a refinery to be turned into gasoline and then boom, a plastic water bottle appears out of thin air. But I do know the first step is making either plastic sheets or plastic, I think they're called nurdles. They're like little beads that end up on the beaches a lot of times. That is then melted down, conformed into the shape of your water bottle. And also the lid, and also the ring, and also the label, and pretty much every other piece of plastic that we use. Then those empty bottles are shipped to a water bottle refill place. They extract water from the environment, they bottle it, they charge you an exorbitant amount of money, and then it's put on a truck and sent to your store. And then you have to drive to that store to pick up the case of water and drive it back home. And then you put it in your fridge, which is using energy, probably more oil, to cool down that water. Do you see how huge this footprint is for one water bottle? Again, imagine a t-shirt, a pair of jeans, a car, a phone. Really looking at the full life cycle of an item, I think really helps you appreciate how much went into it, and also teaches you to take care of your items, and hopefully also consume less. This is what we're talking about here. When I talk about using one less reusable water bottle, it's not just to prevent that one piece of plastic from ending up in the landfill, hopefully the recycling as a best case scenario, or even in the environment. I'm also talking about reducing all of those emissions that it took to create that water bottle and get it into your refrigerator. That matters too. Reducing that also is a great thing to do. So when I'm talking about making these small changes, I'm thinking of it as a big picture. I'm not just thinking of turning off the lights to save a couple cents. I'm thinking because it's saving coal from being burned. It's saving the hydro dam from being churned. It also reduces the amount of light bulbs I have to purchase. Like, there's so much that goes into every single action we take. But honestly, my catchphrase here, our small actions have a big impact in the long run, is for all actions. Not just for zero waste swaps, for zero waste habits, and also for activism as well. Now let's talk about calling our reps, which I did debunk a couple days, weeks ago, on if our phone calls actually do matter, that you can check out right here. Your one individual phone call, when you look at it as just this very basic concept, no, it doesn't matter. And honestly, I'm gonna pull out another book again. Our main character is talking about how once when he was in college, he wrote this story, boys, two men who grew up in a world post-Nazi Germany in which the Nazis won. The Aryan race is now the dominant race in the world. Everyone's speaking German. Everybody worships Hitler. Our main character says, yes, I am worried that we're being lied to, but not as desperately as I did then. Ishmael, the teacher, asks, well, why? Our main character says, because I found out that, as a practical matter, it doesn't make any difference. Whether we're being lied to or not, we still have to get up, we go to work, we pay the bills, and the rest. Sound familiar? Ishmael counters that and says, yes, unless, of course, you all begin to suspect you were being lied to, and you all found out what the lie was. If you alone found out what the lie was, then yeah, you're probably right. It wouldn't make a difference. But if you all found out what the lie was, it might conceivably make a very great difference indeed. Oh, that is just beautiful. And I know this is talking about like governmental lies, which is applicable to real life, but apply it to activism, apply it to zero waste. I make one phone call? Absolutely, that doesn't matter. But what if we all make a phone call? What if we all sign a petition? What if we all vote? What if we all write a letter? What if we all go to a protest? What if we all donate money to a legal organization? You get the idea. Because yeah, when you look at it through such a narrow lens, you reducing one plastic water bottle, of you reducing one plastic toothbrush, of you making one phone call, no, it doesn't matter. But when we all do it, it does. It matters a great deal, just like Ishmael said. It still matters when you do it, don't get me wrong. Because what if your one phone call is what pushes your politician over the edge? What if that one conversation you have with a friend is what they needed to further their education, for example? Your small actions really, really do matter. And I truly believe that, even on an individual level. But for a lot of people, it's hard to conceptualize that. For a lot of people, I think we do need to look at the big picture. As well as don't just stop with one thing. Don't just stop with calling your reps. Sign petitions, write them emails, vote, get educated, attend a town hall, attend a protest, attend a teach-in, attend a conference, whatever works for you in your form of activism. Which if you want more ways, in particular to be an activist from home, you can check out this video next. And if there's interest and you guys want more activism like outside of the home, like protesting, teach-ins, etc., let me know and I can make a video about that as well. But every little piece of good that we can do matters. I think Shel Bizzle says it best. I alone can't do all of the good that the world needs, but the world truly does need all the good that I have to offer it. So don't just stop at one small thing. Don't just stop at yourself. Inspire others to join in and do more yourself as well, within reason. I'm not asking anybody to do it all. For example, I use toothpaste in plastic because my dentist recommends it because I had 10 cavities filled last year and I don't want to do that again. Do what works for you in your situation, but I think you can do more than you originally thought. And you have much more power than you originally thought as well. And of course, as I have said time and time again, inspire others to join you. It matters that you do it, absolutely, but it matters even more when we all do this stuff together. Inspire your coworkers to try a reusable coffee cup instead of going to Starbucks and getting a disposable one. While you're at it, inspire them to support a local coffee shop instead of Starbucks. Inspire your entire household to switch to eco-friendly toilet paper. Inspire your entire class, your entire classroom to, I don't know, turn off the lights and use the windows during the day. There are a lot of small things that you can encourage people to do in their daily lives that might leak into their homes, that might inspire them to do more as well. We need everybody to care just a little bit. We don't need everybody to be the perfect activist. We just need people to care. And I think we can help in that as well. We can take actions ourselves, and we can inspire others to take actions too. And lastly, this is a message of hope. I have always wanted my page to be a place of hope. And you might think otherwise, depending on what you see on my Instagram story that day. I do share bad news on there. But I like to share bad news with a sense of, like, hey, here's some action items that we can take based off of this bad news. And I just made a full video on, I'm also crafting, I'm also yapping. You can check out right here. I fully sat down, prepared to be honest and raw with you guys about my feelings about the state of the world. And I ended up convincing myself to be hopeful, to be positive. There's still reason to have hope. There is so much reason to have hope. When we look at one another, when we look at the good news that is happening, even though it's a little bit smaller than it used to be, I feel like, there's still reasons to have hope. There's still reasons to fight. There are still reasons to build community and band together. There are still reasons to stand up and use your voice. There have already been communities fighting these fights for decades, if not centuries. We can look to them for hope, for inspiration, for guidance. Humans have gone through terrible things in the past and come out on the other end. Unfortunately, I wish we would learn from them. I don't know how we went through World War II, and apparently we're repeating some of those same things. Let's look to history for examples of what not to do, and also as a means of hope, because humans can come out on the other side. Look for the good in every day. Maybe you even have to look to other countries right now to see good political or good climate news. Maybe you just look around your life. For example, I have this beautiful tree right here, and every day it gets new leaves. Kind of gives me hope. Maybe not even hope, but just a smile to my face. A sunny day makes me feel good. Hearing the birds chirp makes me feel good. Taking my dog on a walk makes me feel good. Whatever you have to do to make yourself feel good. Maybe it's crafting. Maybe it's having a tasty drink. Maybe it's cooking a fun meal. Whatever works for you. Or be like me, be hopeful out of spite. I'm hopeful for a lot of reasons, but quite frankly, a big one is spite. I'm not gonna lie. They want us to feel hopeless. They want us to feel powerless. They want us to relinquish whatever little power we have. I'm not gonna give them that. I'm gonna keep fighting. I'm gonna keep screaming. I'm gonna keep yapping. I'm gonna keep sharing. Gonna keep posting. Out of spite. I'm hopeful for a lot of reasons, but truly, I don't want to give them the satisfaction of feeling hopeless. I'm going to remain hopeful just because they want me to think the otherwise. So remember your power. Remember that there is hope all around us. Remember that there are people who feel like you feel. Maybe you just got to branch out and talk to them and rant with some friends. Maybe that will brainstorm some action items that you can take locally. Another one of my favorite books, Let This Radicalize You. Take your anger, take your anxiety, take your fear. Let it move you to do something. I don't know what that something is for you. Whatever works for you. Reading a book, getting educated. Maybe it's attending a protest. Maybe it's going to a town hall. I literally don't care what it is, as long as it's good. Please don't do anything evil with your powers. But remember your power. Remember that you have hope, that you can have hope. I'm not here to tell anybody what not to do and what to do. You can hope. Hope is okay. It is okay to remain hopeful at a time like this. I think maybe people too often feel that I can't feel hopeful right now. Everything sucks. You can acknowledge that it sucks. You can acknowledge that this is terrible times and we're repeating history and some humans can't learn their lessons and some people can't connect the dots. Remain hopeful. Remain powerful. Keep speaking up. Keep doing good in the world. Whether you consider yourself political or not, eco-living is political. Even if you just are here for the eco stuff, keep doing good eco stuff. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate your time, especially on content like this that can lean a little bit political. The social medias don't love that. So I really appreciate your views. I really appreciate a little bit extra if you leave a like and a comment. Let me know if you crafted along with me. Let me know if you like craft and yap. I'm kind of thinking of instating this as a regular segment on the channel. Not every single video. Maybe once a month I have a craft. I yap about something I want to yap about. And if you are a fan of reading and crafting and yapping, consider joining my book club. It's always available down below for $1 a month on Patreon and YouTube memberships, where we read a new eco-themed book per month, and then we call about it. And I will always be there with my crochet. So it is just more iterations of crafting and yapping, but with many, many voices and many, many faces. And it's so much fun. And remember, truly at the end of the day, your small actions do make a big difference in the long run. Bye, guys. Should have moved that chair. Too late now. But by making my homemade sourdough, Speaking of, I need to go make my dough. That's extra loud. Don't park there. Guys, I'm working here. I've already talked about that, actually. Or have I? Oh. I got too distracted crafting and yapping. I did 2 rows of the color that I shouldn't have done. It was still fun to craft and yap, even though I crafted wrong.